This is a story that I found on the internet. It's an illustration by Richard Peck. Maybe you've heard a humorous story about the pastor who was having difficulty with his assigned parking space in the church parking lot. People parked in his spot whenever they pleased, even though there was a sign that clearly said, "This space is reserved." He thought the sign needed to be clearer, so he had a different sign made which read, "Reserved for pastor only." Still, people ignored it and parked in his space whenever they felt like it. Maybe the sign should be more forceful, he thought. So he devised a more intimidating sign which announced, "Thou shalt not park here." That sign didn't make any difference either. Finally, he came upon the words that worked. Once he put the new sign up, nobody ever took his parking place again. That sign read, "The one who parks here preaches the sermon on Sunday morning." I offered you that story because it brings to mind my own experience with parking places. I started preaching as a supply pastor in Ontario, and I always tried to be there at the church an hour before the service started. So naturally, the parking lot was empty. It has always been my habit to park as far away from the entrance to a church as I could, so that others who have more trouble walking can get into the building. And that would allow them to use the spot marked as pastor's parking. After a couple of weeks of this practice, one of the parishioners asked why I never parked in that spot that was reserved for me. I explained my reasoning, and she said, "You need to park there because that's the only way we'll know if we have a pastor in the building or not." Of course, I changed my parking habits almost immediately. Many of us probably hedge at the prospect of preaching a sermon on Sunday morning. We would probably feel uncomfortable about doing it because of a lack of experience or training. So what then is our ministry? Our epistle and gospel readings this morning set before us a vision of common ministry that all of us can be a part of. It is the ministry of hospitality. Each of us knows someone who could use the sense of community that exists in our congregation. If you would but extend an invitation to them and then follow up with some hospitality, if they might accept, then we could see more people in worship with us on Sunday morning.